Okay, my smile is a little too big. Okay.
My glasses are so dirty. But at least we're not having glare so much. But
No, no, there you are. Right, that angle.
Yeah.
It's super like
So as
you're
long as I look at
gone.
the camera, it's fine. The moment I look away,
YouTube.
yours naman parang nagka-yellow.
So,
Yeah.
syempre conscious na akong, I feel like my glasses are dirty too.
Yeah,
I didn't even
dirty
get
glasses.
I didn't even get the plug today. It's so busy. So busy.
That's okay. If we're lucky, there'll be viewers. If not, it'll be online for prosperity.
Yeah, and like this weird, like sudden, random Brendan Fraser tribute of sorts.
Okay, we're live on Facebook.
Yeah, we'll wait for the episode to kick off proper. Then we explain how we ended up deciding to talk about Encino Man today.
We have it live on YouTube.
Oh my God, did I even spell his name correctly? I'm suddenly like conscious. Yeah, looks like it. Okay. This is a recorded live stream, so if you are watching it and it is not
audio
live,
check.
yeah, I switched.
Okay, good.
Yeah, if you're watching, just wait a bit. We'll get people to join.
We're just manually resharing our links.
What was that? Oof. I'm kind of excited about the stuff that's arrived. We have a bunch of new games that all decided to come today.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get to try one of them today before the day ends.
Yeah. We also can't stay up too late because there's a game tomorrow morning. I'm stressed out thinking about how to juggle tomorrow. Okay. Posted that. I saw you tweeted. I like your tweet. Um, and there's indirectly like so much content to compete with this weekend. So I think the first 3 episodes of the new Wheel of Time TV series have dropped on Amazon Prime, and then uh, Cowboy Bebop live action just dropped on Netflix together with Tick Tick Boom, uh, and then um, in North America you have Star Trek Discovery season 4. So there are a lot of things that people can be watching right now. And then looking at Twitter, I see people are like watching this or that. So it's understandable. It's a busy weekend.
Okay.
Man, are we ready for this filmography? I mean, we don't have to super go into everything, but
We'll
I
just
guess
talk about the ones we can.
yeah. Oh wow, really? Random things. Okay. Oops, I haven't queued the title sequence. Whew, this should be interesting.
Okay, I guess we can start.
Sure, I will roll credits, so we'll be right back after this important introduction message. Turn this off, and then
Oh yeah! Baduy Pride!
This is Toby.
And this is Rocky.
And if it's your first time here, welcome to Baduy Pride, our little space on the internet where we talk about anything we want.
This is completely unscripted and not entirely accurate, but at least it's honest. Join us as we talk about everything and anything random live.
And if it's not your first time here, thank you so much for joining us again. What?
It's like the framing is like super tight. Okay, anyway. no, it's okay. It's okay. The wire.
You're hiding that wire. See, we hate that wire.
Yeah. Go back. Okay. I'll just speak from here.
Baduy Pride has been having 2 episodes per week. Mondays, we tend to talk about games, and Fridays, we talk about anything else we want.
Okay. Then explain how we ended up with Encino Man, Toby.
We try to find the theme, also known as Toby tries to
We
find
don't
the
always try to find a theme, but yeah, Toby took it upon himself because okay, it started with what can we talk about, and then I'm like, for Monday, let's talk about Paleo. We've played it a few times. It's a good game. Let's talk about Paleo, and then I left it at that.
In prior weeks, we found interconnections. We talked about Firefly the game, we talked about Firefly the show.
Oh, hey Alfred, thank you.
And then there's the other episodes we're in. We talked about this, and then we talked about that.
A lot of times, Toby just forces theming on it.
And then sometimes it's
All the way to
alliterations.
yes, he'll change the titles of the episodes away from what I said, just so that they all start with the same letter or things like that. So racking his brain to think about what can you connect to Paleo, a game about cavemen.
And no, wait, sorry. You considered and shot down. We can't talk about the diet.
Yeah, because that's like
So I'm not the only one who tried to find a connected topic.
I'm just saying it's stupid to talk about the diet because
And-
I know that's what you were thinking. So then like no,
And
we're
that's
not
why-
talking about the diet.
And that's why we have Encino Man. Encino Man being one of the movies, but we decided to expand it to all we can talk about as far as Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, because I'm not sure if we were ready to spend 30 minutes just talking about Encino Man, although we could probably pull it off. But man, it's such an archaic movie at this point. Like, I mean, how many people remember Encino Man? But the big thing about Encino Man, hence the title, is the fact that it's about a cave, a prehistoric man type character coming forward. So, before we dive into the rest of his filmography, I think we should talk about Encino Man as the lead-in.
Well, we have to talk about Encino Man as the lead-in because for many people, that's where they first encounter Brendan Fraser.
Yes.
Admittedly, while Brendan Fraser was present in other productions such as Dogfight, as Sailor Number One, and a few other TV productions, it was Encino Man where he first, breaks into the radar of many people. Interestingly, um, as a Captain America analog of someone brought back to the present after being, I guess you could say, trapped in ice for so long.
Yes, literally. It's literally the plot.
Mhm.
Okay. I mean, it's like one of those things that really go, how 90s can you get? And
Mhm.
Encino Man is one of those things. And I understand if it's not exactly a well-known movie at this point. I
Mhm.
mean, like, it's not something that saw a lot of press, but I don't know. But I actually have very fond memories of this movie.
Mhm.
But looking back at the cast, it's like, oh my god, look at all these people in it. Okay, so Encino Man is tagged as a comedy film directed by Les Mayfield in his directorial debut, and it came out in 1992.
Where the Stone Age meets the Rock Age.
I feel like this poster was like inserted in so many comic books at the time, and even that sounds archaic. Like, but literally, you being brave enough to advertise a movie in a comic book tells you that you assume people buy comics real time. You know.
I feel it also was trying to ride on the intense popularity of the Bill and Ted franchise of movies.
Okay.
It was around that time wherein we started to see the slacker, rocker, alternative lifestyle people taking center stage.
Yes.
Prior to that, most of the people who were on movies and TVs were your stereotypical view of mainstream people, and the geeks, the weirdos, the people like us
Mm.
were always regulated as support roles. But Bill and Ted was one of the few movies where, look, we weirdos are the main focus. And Encino Man feels like an attempt to cash in on that popularity.
Everyone did a quick view and like, what else did this guy do? Wow, this director went on to do things like Miracle on 34th Street, the
And
1994
Flubber.
version, Flubber,
Yes.
American Outlaws. Okay, it's a very weird mix. Okay,
Mhm.
okay. So, basic premise of Encino Man is that Brendan
Earthquake
Fraser,
happens.
well, Brendan Fraser is a caveman,
Hmm.
and then in the Ice Age, he gets frozen in ice
Yes.
because of a cave in or something
Yes.
like that. And then present day, um,
Earthquake happens in LA.
of course, Los Angeles,
Mhm.
right? And then um,
Sean
they
Astin.
isn't it crazy at Sean Astin? It's crazy at Sean Astin.
Hmm.
Sean Astin is a teenager here, and then his best friend is Pauly Shore.
Hmm.
Well, played by Pauly Shore,
Hmm.
which if you don't recognize that name and don't have any context to Pauly Shore, oh my god, you are missing out on one of the cultural artifacts of the 90s.
Hmm.
Again, but it just saying Pauly Shore, it kind of implied a certain way that they would behave. So anyway,
The two of them uncover a caveman from the
well,
earthquake.
a chunk of ice,
Yeah.
right, following the earthquake, and then um, they try to melt it with space heaters, and
Hmm.
then out comes Brendan Fraser,
Hmm.
who is ridiculously tall, especially compared to the likes of Sean Astin.
Hmm.
Um, and then it's your classic man at a time, and then they try to teach him how to live in these modern times.
Hmm.
And of course, they nicknamed him Link because he's the missing link image.
Hmm.
And is that not enough a good premise for this
Interestingly,
movie?
the movie was released as California Man in some areas
Yeah, in
because
some
the term
countries.
Encino wasn't that familiar enough.
I mean, it's actually already impressive that they thought Americans,
Hmm.
that the average American would know what Encino is. And this is pre Jurassic Park, right?
Hmm.
So we were not thinking in terms of caveman terms yet. Okay. Um, and and yeah, so okay, so it was a quaint movie. I don't know why I think we even had this on video.
Hmm.
I don't know why we had this on video. It was a Disney movie
It was
by
a fun
rights.
movie.
It's a because it was released under Buena Vista, so technically it's a Disney movie,
Hmm.
and it was just you know initially uh Brendan Fraser still wasn't like the hair. He was very non-hairy for a cave person.
Hmm.
They had him a little messed up at the beginning,
Hmm.
but then not by much. But the moment they shave him down, get him dressed in appropriate '90s attire,
With
um,
the hair, with the
with the
fuzzy
hair,
hair.
which I feel like for a time that was like, I mean, like him and his hair has always been like a character across the periods,
Hmm.
and then it was just weird hijinks, and it's a very fun movie. I still think I don't know. I'm looking through the lenses of childhood nostalgia. I have not watched this in the
Hmm.
last 20 years at least.
In many ways, they wanted the movie to be a vehicle to make, well, to poke fun on the cultural aspects of the time.
Yes,
and
exactly.
and the best way to do that was to have a character who did not understand what the modern world was, and use him as the vehicle to do that. So in many ways, for the older generation to poke fun at these kids who are going crazy over walkmans and roller and skateboards and all this and that, this movie allowed them to do so in that way. But at the same time, since it is the era of Bill and Ted type of movies, they were the protagonists. They were the ones who would show that their oddness and their weirdness is what makes them awesome. I even wonder if scenes like when they were cleaning him up and stuff were like homages to other movies like Pretty Woman and the like, because there were a lot of if you really look at it in a certain way, um, they would be interesting scenes that you would have the generally straight characters
Hmm.
doing in the scene.
Straight non-comedic, not straight
Yeah.
non-gay.
So, well, actually, straight non-gay as well,
Well, yeah, I
because
mean, like,
they had Encino Man in the full towel overhead, being prettied up and all this and that, but it wasn't really played as a gay joke. But it was,
it was also a period of like very low key queer coding. I
mm,
mean, like, yeah, I mean, like it's just it was just a thing,
mm,
but it did help bring Brendan Fraser into greater attention, even though he played a caveman who learns English very quickly.
try to sell the tagline. No, no, this the expression "buddy"
Oh yeah! Oh my
and the
god!
brain freeze
Weird
moments with the
memory.
Slurpee. Did
Brain
you?
free.
I've done that Slurpee thing. They got mad at me in BF Homes.
Okay. So funnily, it's interesting to know that it was a box office
Success. It
success.
was.
Wow, it was a very popular movie, but of course it's panned critically.
Mm,
Um, and but it has a bit of a cult following.
mm.
Interestingly enough, there is a book apparently called Stoney's Encino High Notebook, and then there was a TV sequel called Encino Woman.
Mhm.
Strangely enough, okay.
Following that, moving beyond that, we then move to so many movies, one after the other. From Encino Man, we have School Ties, which he does with he plays the role of David Green.
School Ties is heavy. It's a
Released the
heavy,
same
heavy
year.
movie. Yeah, it's and suddenly it's like this super serious drama, but again featuring a lot of names that now
Mhm.
are very familiar. It was together with Matt Damon and
Chris
Chris O'Donnell,
O'Donnell.
which is super. Oh, Ben Affleck too. Look
Mhm.
at that. Ah, Anthony Rapp was in
Yeah.
this. Look at that. Okay, so all these people, but then like because it was a school thing, so you had a lot of guys.
And it was strange because it was a very heavy, serious topic.
Super.
So I could not help but wonder, was this produced first but then released later? Was this really the follow up after someone saw him in Encino Man and went, "Oh, let's try giving him a
No,
serious role"?
I mean, in terms of timing, because it came out what month? September. So that's only like a few months
Yeah,
after Encino.
but it
But
could have
then
been shot.
production would have
Yeah, it could have
no
been
similar
shot.
period.
I mean, this could have been shot earlier,
That's true.
and then you could have had an Encino Man movie, and that could have been edited and released faster for all we know.
Yeah.
So I'm always curious about that, because here it's super heavy and he's super dramatic, and yeah, such a change,
And
such a
it's
twist.
so confusing because then like you watched Encino Man and then you watch this and like
Mhm.
this is the same guy. This is the caveman. So okay, all right. Next after that,
$20.
don't know what this is.
So $20 is um, the story and the life of a $20 bill as it weaves in and out of different lives.
Okay, concept.
So
Man, top billing is Linda Hunt.
mhm. The movie poster literally shows a $20 bill with the collection of faces in the top. Um, it's supposed to be a comedy of how we spend our lives, but this does kind of feel like an attempt to like win an award sort of movie.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's like low key. I mean, okay, because the mid 90s was super like a lot of these comedy dramas, like comedies, but with a lofty idea,
Mhm.
and then they go on to win things. Okay.
Following that is Younger and Younger, released 1993. A strange man owns a storage facility and there lives a reality of his own until reality comes crashing down.
This feels very indie, but
Donald
it's not. It's
Sutherland,
Don Sutherland.
yeah, plays the main character, and then Brendan Fraser's the son in the role.
Don't know this one too. Okay.
So there's two posters. One poster kind of thinks it's a comedy. The other poster kind of thinks it's romance, and the last poster looks like it's an action movie. So I'm kind of puzzled about this one.
Confused marketing of the period. Okay. All right. Next in his filmography.
There's Son-in-Law, where he's uncredited, playing the role of someone named Link, possibly a cameo role based on
That sounds like an in joke.
yeah, and based on an Encino Man appearance. Then we have With Honors.
Because why not another movie where he is a student? And With Honors was, I mean, it was one of those movies that like everybody watched. I mean, because it was quintessential, very school age thing.
And wasn't this around the time of around the time of the Robin Williams movie?
I don't remember 1994. Which one? Like
Brain's
is
not working.
is he a doctor? Is he a homeless man?
No, the school.
Oh, Dead Poets. I think Dead Poets is older.
um, yikes! The internet is really slow today.
Yeah, we really need to change country, to upgrade our internet.
Dead Poets is when 1989.
Yeah, I know it's
So with
older.
honors 1994.
But okay, and I love reading out sometimes the casts of these things because look at With Honors. With Honors,
You have Patrick Dempsey.
Patrick Dempsey, McDreamy, Joe Pesci as the lead, who looks like he could be a caveman.
Mhm.
Moira Kelly, um, yeah, those are the ones that really stand out to me at the time. And it's like, oh, all these people together in a movie.
For those who don't remember the movie, it has Monty, a student. His computer crashes. He's left with a single copy of his thesis, which he then stumbles and drops it through a grate when he tried to have it photocopied. So he learns that it's been found by a squatter named Simon,
Joe
and
Pesci.
that man makes a deal with him. Everyday accommodation and food. He'll give a page of the thesis back in return.
Painful.
Mhm.
But yeah, but we like seeing Brendan Fraser flustered. I think
Mhm.
that's the message of the casting choices for this movie. Okay.
Beyond that, we have Airhead.
Why does he alternate these like more serious things and then back to
Mhm.
stupid things? Airheads has him as a rock person in a band.
Mhm.
Um,
I feel like this is trying to redo the success of Encino Man.
yeah, there was that. I mean, like, so you can see the direction. Like, he had movies like, let's put him in school
Mhm.
again and again, and then let's keep making him dumb.
But then we have him with Steve Buscemi, Chris Farley.
Adam Sandler,
Yes.
Judd Nelson. What are these people doing together?
Has three rockers, Chaz, Rex, and Pip, known as the Lone Rangers, plan to play their demo on a recording company, but they're turned down rudely. So they try to go to a radio station, and later on, they take the station hostage. So, yeah.
And he was like super. He's super lead billing in this one. He's the center of the poster. The next one he has a cameo, but we don't really have to get into it because it's in the army now. It's a Pauly Shore movie.
Airheads, though, came before Empire Records.
Oh, okay.
So
That's an interesting
I wonder how that influenced each other.
timing sequence.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have then The Scout from 1994, story of a baseball scout who discovers a talented but troubled baseball player. Um, Brendan Fraser plays Steve Nebraska, who is the baseball player.
I vaguely remember watching this.
I don't recall seeing this at all because it's baseball.
But this leaned more serious. I mean, like in terms of like if we're tracking what he's been doing, it was one of those movies.
Then we go to The Passion of Darkly Noon.
Oh my God, he's title character. What is
Released
this?
1995. I have never seen this before, but a young man who has spent his life as a member of an ultra conservative Christian cult loses his parents and becomes disoriented, wandering into a forest and meeting a coffin transporter, a caring woman, her mute boyfriend, and his mother.
Oh my God, Ashley Judd and Viggo Mortensen in this
Mhm.
movie. What are these movies? But the cast is very small, so it may be one of those like independent efforts.
I am very intrigued now to look at it, though.
Okay.
Following that is Glory Days, where Brendan Fraser plays a character named Doug. With college pending, an old gang tries to avoid the inevitability of breaking up and going forward with their lives.
Oh, is that? I feel like you jumped.
Oh, maybe. No, Glory Days, yeah.
Oh, okay, 1995. Okay, it's weird. It's credited in a different time period but he's only a cameo in Gloria Days. Okay.
Yeah, and he's not in the main cast.
Okay. What you got next?
Following that is a role in TV, Fallen Angels, an uncredited role in Now and Then,
Okay.
another uncredited role in Kids in the Hall, Brain Candy,
Okay.
and then we have a role in Mrs. Winterborn.
Oh my god.
He plays Bill.
Oh my god, Mrs. Winterborn. Oh my god, do you remember? Did you watch this
No, I
movie?
don't think I've ever
Really?
seen this.
Okay, this is how this is like. Obviously, I had an older sister in my life, and so we watched things like this. We watched Brendan Fraser movies, and um, so your basic premise, it's a rom com drama. Oh my god, I think you would like
Is
this.
this the one where he dies in the train?
Uh, I don't remember that specific plot point, but that seems like a really random like thing to pull out.
Um, she's made mistaken for Patricia, who died in the crash with Hugh. So yeah, I think this is the one where they died in the train.
Yeah, because it was a mistaken identity situation.
Mhm.
Okay, so reading the first paragraph of the summary, 18th birthday, Connie Doyle, played by Ricky Lake, and like yes, Ricky Lake, go make movies. Meets low life Steve DeCunzo, who is Lauren Dean, moves in with him, winds up pregnant, kicks her out when she won't abort the baby, denying responsibility. Months later, a destitute Connie gets inadvertently swept aboard a train at Grand Central Terminal with no ticket, no money. She's rescued by Hugh Winterborn, played by Brendan Fraser,
Mm.
who takes her to his private compartment, meets with his wife, Patricia, Susan Haskell, who's also pregnant. They bond, they get friends, and then um, he Patricia encourages Connie to try the ring on, of course. Then the train crashes.
It's a
Patricia's
crash,
thrown
not death. It's
outside.
crash.
Connie is the only one in the private compartment. And then she wakes up in the hospital. She's given birth. And because they were in the Winterborn sleeper car wearing the wedding ring, they think she's Patricia.
Okay.
And then the other pregnant woman on the train and Hugh both died in the crash.
Oh, see there, they did die. I
But
was right.
but of course, Brendan Fraser has an identical twin brother. And
Okay,
then
now I want to see.
so
this.
now she's like part of the family.
I think I vaguely remember. I don't remember enough that I will appreciate it if I watch it again.
But I think you will. I think you will like it. I don't. It's like these are the things that in hindsight now, in my adulthood, I'm glad my sister made me watch these things.
And
So,
this is like perfect for our Pendragon game. It's Mrs. Winterborn,
no,
twin brother.
no. Okay. All right. Moving forward.
Moving forward,
But yay, Mrs. Winterborn.
1996, The Twilight of the Gods. So this seems like a more serious movie.
He's on the poster, isn't he?
he's
Oh
one
my
of
god.
he's one of the kids of the main characters.
Okay. It's a drama directed by Ross Kagan Marks, directed based on the play. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just leave it at that.
And
All right.
then we have Duckman, Private Dick Family Man TV series. He's the voice of Simmons Kaggle.
Okay.
We have Still Breathing.
What is that?
Is this? No, I was about to say, was this the swimming? No, it's not.
Oh, but he's on the poster also, but
Yeah.
he looks borderline scary. What's the synopsis?
Two Lost Souls. She's a con artist in LA. He's a puppeteer in San Antonio. And they have the same dream linking them together. I've never seen this. I think I want to see this.
You also want to see this now. I just knew with the same dream line.
See, it's True Love, Midnight Visions, and Stacking Rocks.
What's that? Oh, that's the one in the YouTube thing
Yeah.
we just watched where he was holding like a stack of rocks. Okay, weird, but sure.
Okay, moving forward is George of the Jungle.
George of the Jungle is a highlight
Okay.
in his career. Okay,
I will admit, I never liked George of the Jungle.
why not?
I never liked it. And I didn't find him hot.
It's very stupid. It's a very intentionally stupid
But
movie.
I remember when I saw the movie, I got annoyed and then I didn't want to finish it.
I didn't necessarily find him hot because, of course, this is what 1997. I am graduating grade school, but it always struck me he was very long. It's like you realize how tall he is, and then he did get quite fit for the role, which is
Mhm.
like a trimming down fit. but it was just like really kiddie stupid.
Super dehydrated.
But it wasn't full on sinewy. And then of course they just kept him oiled up most of the time. And it
Mhm.
was like you look at it now, it's like it's not bad. It's fairly realistic, like
Mhm.
body wise. It's not crazy bodybuilder. It's also not starvation. But interesting movie. Interesting movie. And it worked on its own for a while. It had a bit of a effort at weird
Mhm.
sequels that did not involve Brendan Fraser.
Mhm.
Okay.
Then we have the one I liked, which is Gods and
I still haven't
Monsters.
seen this, and look at this contrast: George of the Jungle, Gods and
So,
Monsters.
Gods and Monsters is the last days of Frankenstein director James Whale are explored in this story. This is based on a novel, but I would assume that it has a lot of fictional takes. Sir Ian McKellen plays James Whale, who encounters Clayton Boone, the gardener. Um,
Who's Brendan Fraser?
they develop this friendship, and there's a level of one-sided eroticism that's present, which makes it troublesome for some viewers now. Um, but it just also tells you how lonely the one can get when
Mm.
they're living a life separated from so many other people,
Mm-hmm.
and how lonely likewise someone can get because the world just seems too different from what you're used to.
Yeah, so it's forever like it keeps circling in my like. I really should get around to watching it. So
Mm.
I
You'll never
I'll
look
try to
at
find the
gas
time.
masks the same way again.
Okay,
Then he had voicing in The Simpsons,
that's fine.
which finally leads us to The Mummy.
Yeah, and this is like I felt like and we watched a few like YouTube videos about his career before doing this
Mhm.
episode as a recap, and it is quite like a ground. Or I don't know what to call it, but like it's a landmark moment in his career.
Yeah,
It was quite the milestone. And the Mummy is like such a big franchise when you think about it in hindsight.
if you really think about it, The Mummy's popularity is the same, I guess you could say, chemistry that Guardians of the Galaxy tried to tap.
Hmm.
Wherein you have the lead who is, not only good to look at, but very charismatic. But at the same time, in their own way, a buffoon.
Yeah.
You have a strong supporting cast surrounding the lead, but the lead still remains the focus of the show,
Hmm.
despite the strong supporting cast. You have comical moments interspliced with the drama and the action. You have a villain who is serious, deadpan serious the entire time, no matter how comical the hero gets.
That's true.
Yeah, so the same beats were there that early on, and Brendan Fraser just played it so well. The character was the character was so different from Han Solo and Indiana Jones, and that is a good thing.
But he does feel in hindsight feel a little closer to Star Lord.
Hmm.
I mean, like it's the but he's still like what's this? He's still more competent than
Hmm.
Star Lord,
Yeah.
right? Because he's literally a skilled
Hmm.
adventurer. His confidence has basis. Um.
And then I love how there's that read of some people how he was also very feminist in the sense that Rachel Weisz's character Evelyn Carnahan
Mm.
um, was not a damsel in distress.
No, no, yeah, she
She
was.
was smart. She was strong willed. She was fearless. At the times they would banter, but it wasn't because she needed his help. It was
Yeah.
because they were helping each other.
Oh, now I want to watch this again.
It's really good.
Brendan Fraser's filmography is like just resulting in a lot of movies you want to see
And
again.
that's why it's so sad with the third one. I'm jumping forward, but that's when the dragon emperor story arc comes in, where they have to replace Rachel Weisz, and they do it in this tongue-in-cheek moment of, there's this book thing, and she has her head down with a hat covering her face, and they're all talking like, "Do you think you'll have another adventure?" Blah blah blah, and then she mutters, "Oh, it's almost like I'm a different woman." That's her line
Oh, I don't
to
remember.
introduce
I
the
don't
new
even remember
actress.
watching the third. I remember I watched the first and the second.
I watched the third because Michelle Yeoh was in
I can understand that answer.
it.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, that's The Mummy. Amazing. The effects are still fantastic
Mm.
for its time. The beats of the story was just incredible. And there's that other meme about how this movie is the bisexual dream movie, and I agree because practically almost all, and I don't mean all, but almost all of the cast are hot in their own way, including Oded Fair, who was the mysterious
Yeah, the
with all the facial tattoos and stuff.
we're dedicated to keeping the mummy prisoner,
Yeah.
and then now we're leading the Federation of the Future.
But then at the same time, you had the mummy itself, Imhotep, played by Arnold Vosloo, who was still also hot in their own way. You had his wife.
He was wrestler hot. Like
uh,
he was like chunky.
Yeah, the wife is in the next movie, right? Oh no, it's here. It's Anak sa Moon, which is Patricia Velasquez.
Yeah.
So all of them were just, oh my god, why am I feeling things for all of the people in this movie? And to use the Filipino term, walang tapon. Because they were all smart. Even the villain was smart,
Yeah.
not wise, but he
Uh-uh.
knew what to do. He knew what he understood there was betrayal. He walang tapon to movie na to.
Wow.
If you are wondering ever in your life if you're bisexual, watch The Mummy. And if you suddenly realize they all are great.
I feel like it may be an exception. It's like because it's particularly good casting, good writing for all of them. I mean, like it's. I mean, so and this is why like there are still the mummy rides around the world,
Mhm.
guys. It's the strength of this franchise.
Then after that joy of The Mummy, we have Dudley Do-Right.
This was a terrible movie. I will be the first to say, and I know it's based on a cartoon, which in itself was an old cartoon.
I blame Sarah Jessica Parker.
We're talking about it's a contemporary. The original cartoon is a contemporary of the likes of well, sadly, Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yeah.
I mean, like he's in that same cartoon universe.
Yeah.
But this was such a stupid movie.
Despite having Alfred Molina in it.
Yes, it was such a stupid movie.
I still blame Sarah Jessica Parker.
And it wasn't good stupid, like because to be fair, if you go back to the source material, I mean Dudley Do Right is a stupid
Mhm.
heroic character, but it was the wrong kind of stupid. So I cannot.
But then I love the next one. Blast from the Past.
Is that the next one? Oh, I'm looking at a different sequence again. Okay, but okay, we'll work with Blast in the Past.
So Blast from the Past is where Brendan Fraser and Alicia Silverstone just have this. I guess the closest word I could use is timeless romance.
It's Encino Man, but not as far away
Yeah.
because now it's someone who lived in a bomb shelter.
And it's just nice. It's quaint. It's not trying too hard.
And this is like we hadn't seen Alicia in too many movies.
Hmm.
And then she comes out in this and she is fantastic. And she's not perfect poised,
Hmm.
her character from Clueless. Here she's kind of spunky, kind of more down to very very late 90s.
Hmm.
Because she had to be a little bad to contrast with Brendan Fraser's like I was raised in a 1950s bubble.
Mhm.
And it's no like magic. He was like a kid born in the he was a kid at the time when they went in the bunker, and then he grows up in the bunker.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember this. Very very fun movie.
It's just interesting how if you grow up in a bunker, you end up hot. So
Brendan Fraser hot. Okay.
moving up, we have a voice role in Sinbad Beyond the Veil of Mist.
A weird Sinbad animated movie. I vaguely remember seeing this, but it's not worth writing about.
Then it's followed by 2000 Bedazzled with Elizabeth Hurley.
This was odd. It didn't feel like him outright stupid,
Mhm.
but it was just one of those middle of the road,
So most people
comedy
know
pieces.
Elizabeth Hurley because of Austin Powers.
Yes.
And
This is
um,
after Austin
yeah,
Powers.
this is after Austin Powers, and in many ways, it felt like we wanted to get the Austin Powers crowd. So let's try throwing her in this movie. I remember watching it and getting disappointed.
Yeah. It was that's why I speak with it that like it wasn't super great. Like it's not Dudley Do Right bad, but
Mhm.
it wasn't too far away either. It's the basically Elizabeth Hurley is the devil, but
Yeah.
it's a comedy, so it's not like it's not Devil's Advocate devil. And then
It might have been better if it was Devil at.
and then she targets Brendan Fraser's character as like the next big thing,
Mhm.
and yeah,
And I think that's
Yeah.
the problem with what they were doing.
it was Faustian
they,
but
they
stupid.
kept trying to make Brendan Fraser play roles that had the innocence of Encino Man. And parang it's not believable na at this point.
He
So,
was much older.
Mm.
These are already the 2000s.
but of course, they still didn't learn, and they throw him in Monkey Bone.
I kind of wanted to like Monkey Bone
Same.
because it felt like it was gonna be along the lines of Cool World.
Yes. I mean, the story is in a coma, a cartoonist finds himself trapped in his own underground creation and must find his way to get back while racing against his popular but treacherous character, Monkey Bone.
And it was clay animation, right?
So,
Or
so
puppetry.
if you think about the descriptions, I think it was stop motion. Um, it sounds like a Vertigo title. It sounds like a Sandman story. It
Mm-mm.
it sounds so rich in potential, and then we get the movie, which so frustrating. How I so wanted to like it, but I really struggled to.
Oh my god, wait. Side note, scroll up. It had Giancarlo Esposito.
Mhm. It
Whoa!
was.
Wait, it had Rose McGowan
Mhm.
and Bacon Mullally. Okay. I don't necessarily want to rewatch Monkey Bone, but I'm just curious to see what they did. We're gonna
Well,
have
I
to.
wouldn't mind rewatching it again, only because maybe we'll appreciate it
Maybe
more
it'll be
that we're
better.
older.
Maybe it'll be better. And then, of
Um,
course, it got me on board because hey, stop motion.
mm.
I love little things like that.
Then comes the Mummy Returns, which could have been good, but terribly was seen as bad because one, the first movie was so hard to beat.
That's true.
Second, such a terrible approach to special effects.
Yeah, it was. It this felt a bit more rushed out, and
Mm-mm.
like they were just determined to pump out another movie, and then we get all that Scorpion King stuff,
Mhm.
which
And even the Scorpion King thing, you had Dwayne Johnson, who this is one of the earlier
one of his
roles.
early
I'm not
movies
sure if it was
post
the first.
wrestling.
I don't know if it's the first. I'll double check.
Oh, that would
But
be interesting to check.
as one of the earlier roles, I remember there was hype to see him in the movie. There
Yeah,
was that, oh wow, he's gonna be a part of this movie. And then to get that moment come as that terrible CG thing when they finally encounter each other, that was a
I mean, he was very cool in the flashback
yeah. The
scenes of
flashback
like,
scenes were great.
whoa, the Scorpion King. Okay, and then yeah, that it came out as it did.
Yeah. See, wrestling. Except
Voyager.
yeah,
You remember the Voyager episode that had The Rock? He
no.
wrestles with 7 of 9.
Oh my gosh, I don't remember that.
We're gonna watch it.
But he had a TV appearance.
Yeah. Oh my god, the net.
Yeah, he had TV appearances naman other than
But that's
wrestling.
already because he was in this. But yeah, but the
So
Mummy
officially,
Returns was his first
yeah,
movie,
it was his first.
and then despite that, it still managed to generate a Scorpion King spinoff,
Hmm.
which is kind of bonkers. But that's because really they were just trying to like push the Rock.
I honestly would not hate this movie if they re-released it with revised special effects.
Yeah, because
The
man,
story wasn't terrible. It was obviously riding the beats of the original one. Instead of a face in the sand, it's a face in the water. Instead of a ganyan ganyan.
but that CG Rock Scorpion
Was
thing,
very rough.
it's like it's not even a spoiler anymore because it's just terrible.
But it's still better than modern special effects in certain countries, who we will not name out of respect of the effort people in that industry are doing.
You're talking about us. This is the Philippines.
Well, we're talking about the industry because local special effects are fantastic. But then when it's the industry stuff, that's the you have 1 week to do this.
Special effects or visual effects, as
Both.
argued.
Both. Both.
That's true.
Because I've seen some people who do local special effects and they're really good. But then when you do it on a TV budget and a TV schedule,
Mm.
that's when you have the CPAP air tube placed on the throat and
Anyway,
did you see the recent one? The clip for the heartbeat
Oh,
was clipped on the nose.
oh my god, I had not seen
It's a
that.
TV thing. Ah.
Wow.
So parang
And then I think by now all of us kind of know like how a pulse oximeter is supposed to work.
okay, then we have The Quiet American in 2002. I've never seen this.
He's on the poster.
An old British reporter vies with a young US doctor for the affections of a beautiful Vietnamese woman.
Ooh, sounds iffy. Oh, but that's the Michael Caine movie. Okay.
I don't recall.
I
ever
haven't seen
seeing
this one, but It the video said it got noticed by critics.
Mhm.
Okay.
Then we have Dickie Roberts, former child star. He is uncredited as himself.
Okay.
We have Looney Tunes back in action. Interestingly,
The voice of the Tasmanian devil and the she devil.
and DJ Drake.
Okay.
We have Scrubs, where he plays Ben Sullivan.
Recurring character.
Do you remember that?
I didn't watch Scrubs. I didn't watch Scrubs. Did you watch Scrubs?
I have vague memories of watching Scrubs, but I don't recall enjoying Scrubs. Why do I have vague memories of watching Scrubs? Didn't we watch Scrubs?
No. Maybe the geeks. I know. I feel like a lot of people liked
Maybe
it, but
the
I didn't watch
geeks.
Scrubs
Maybe the geeks.
because I was into only serious medical shows. I want I want full on cases.
You're not into serious medical shows. We watched that really horrible comedy one with the blood on his chest thing.
You didn't catch me during my Chicago Hope days and my which linked later on to like Boston
But
Public.
what was that really stupid medical one?
Which one? Oh, that yeah.
Children's Hospital.
Yeah. But that's like that's the airplane side of my life.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
We have Revenge of the Mummy the Ride because it has a video clip when he acts in it. Then we have Crash. So Crash is ever infamous because it won over Brokeback Mountain.
But okay, I honestly feel though it was a good. I mean, it's a good
I
movie, and I think it deserved to win.
back then I was angry it won over Brokeback Mountain.
Okay.
But having seen Crash, I love Crash. It's a very intricate story with interconnected parts.
To sound very hipster, I will say I watched Crash at Glorieta, at Greenbelt when nobody was paying attention to it because it was before the Oscars,
Mm-hmm.
and it was out for like, parang barely a week. It's
Mm.
like they took it out right away. But I was so glad. I was like, oh, this is a great movie. It's one of those movies that make you feel, oh my god, people are terrible. that's like the message of the movie. It's like people are terrible. Everyone's a racist. You know. Oops, you just searched the Crush, not
Yeah.
Crash.
No, I was double checking something.
And like, if you're not careful, Crash could have just become a comedy, and then it.
Yeah.
It could have been one of those
Okay.
comedies with like all those different stars in it.
So, I was snobbish. I didn't want to watch Crash because I remember the 1996 Crash, which was a Cronenberg movie.
Oh, here comes the Cronenberg.
It was a pair who would crash their car while having sex.
And they come out joined.
Because that's where they get their adrenaline and orgasms.
Okay, I'm sorry, because I was thinking Cronenberg and
I know, but
are they gonna come out as a
but
monster?
it's still kind of freaky, right? So when I heard this movie Crash, it's blah blah blah, I'm like, oh, how will it compare to Crash? Because I already love the Cronenberg one.
Apparently, Toby was more hipster than I was.
But then I tried watching it, and it drew me in, despite knowing what's gonna happen. It's not a I'll catch you off guard type of movie. I kind of read the interconnections early on, but it's nicely paced.
And the way it just all comes together. In fact, it doesn't feel now that there is a main star, although someone has to get credited as a main star. But it was a very strong ensemble
Mhm.
story. It was very, very complex.
And
And
this
then
is the one with the coat, right?
yeah,
The protection coat or invincibility coat. I forgot what it was called, but he was telling the kid that
yeah.
yeah,
And yeah, because everybody was so into Brokeback Mountain and like, and but and it's just, and I think a lot of people got mad that Crash won because they had not seen Crash
mm-hmm.
and didn't know what the hell was this movie.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm glad I watched it, and I still think it deserved to win over
I
Brokeback.
agree. I agree. In as much as I really love Brokeback Mountain, and as much as I'm a huge Ang Lee fan, this was powerful.
I
This
think
movie.
I think I mean, ultimately it's like, because the Oscars is not just about the best movie but also
Mhm.
making statements, and I think people were hoping that Brokeback would win as a statement, like for LGBT representation,
Mm-mm.
but it wasn't that time. Instead, we got racism, and
Mm-mm.
like now in the America of today, it's like, rewatch Crash, think about it. because
But
it's the message is kind of
but that's
strong.
also what you kind of get, right? That despite this movie being out that early, a powerful statement about racism and all that, it didn't really
Well,
change
that's not the
things.
job
No, I
of the
mean what I mean
movie.
is, so for people who are like thinking, if Brokeback won, then it would have been a big
That
push.
is true.
It wouldn't have really
It
changed
wouldn't have
things.
changed.
It
It takes more than a movie award.
my statement would be more on the fact that Brokeback movie was made and released is the change already it could have done. It showed us that those kind of movies can be out there,
Mm-mm.
and the award winning or not was irrelevant. That would not have made it bigger in terms of changing things.
But do pride on Crash. Thank you. All right. So what's next?
Next, we have King of the Hill, some voice acting moments, and then we have Journey to the End of the Night, 2006 movie.
What is this? It looks
Um,
horror.
he a very dark looking poster. Um,
Synopsis, sorry. Scroll to the top. A tale of a son and his father separately plotting to escape the desolation of their lives in the lurid underworld of Brazil's sex industry. Dang, son.
I'm looking at it, and oddly, I don't think I've ever seen
I'm pretty
this.
sure I haven't seen this because my parents wouldn't let me watch this kind of thing.
The poster though does look familiar.
Wow, he's broody and bloody. I didn't even realize it was bloody. Okay.
Yeah, the poster looks very familiar. Moving forward, that last time, 2006. Um,
Synopsis?
okay, I don't think I've seen this. Salesman, played
Michael
by Keaton,
Keaton.
rediscovers a lust for life after falling for the fiancée of his new business partner, Fraser. In a Midwest transplant, finding his footing in New York City.
Do not remember this. I don't think I watched this.
Looking at it, no, it doesn't connect with me
But whoa,
either.
Michael Keaton movie. Okay.
Big Bug Man voice, The Air I Breathe. He played Pleasure.
Oh, this
Okay,
looks concept.
poster looks very familiar, but oh, pleasure, sorrow, love, fingers. Okay, now I want to see this.
Premise. A
A
drama
drama based
based
on
on
an
ancient.
ancient Chinese proverb that
Oh,
breaks down into four emotional cornerstones.
happiness, pleasure, sorrow,
So
and
they're
love.
different stories, but that's just their names because we don't get to know them as people.
Okay, director J Ho Lee. What the? Wow.
And it had
Okay.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Hey, Mark. Yeah.
The director was known for
The air I breathe.
this movie, and prior to that, A Nursery Tale, and so I would like to look this up.
Okay, I'll add that to the list of things you're gonna look up.
And then we have Journey to the Center of the Earth,
I don't know why
which
I
is
didn't
not
watch this.
which is not connected to the journey to the end of the night.
Yes.
I saw this. I wanted to like it. I struggled to like it.
I mean, it was in that era. It's that early 2000s, like weird remakes
Okay, they
period.
did try to capture the feel of the mummy.
Okay,
He
yeah,
he kind of was still that type of a character,
yeah.
but the chemistry of the characters just wasn't there. Um, he didn't feel as lively as in terms of the mummy. He looked like he was more troubled,
And then I
and
feel like it's the same energy as like the Jumanji sequels recently,
yeah.
but it's in that realm.
But it had what's his name?
Josh Hutcherson.
Yeah, Hunger Games guy.
Oh yeah, Pita. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and randomly Seth Meyers. All right. Okay. Next.
Moving on is the Mummy: Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, which is
Video
both the video
game.
game and the movie. So yeah, this is where they replaced racial wise with Mario Bello. Is that
Oh.
correct?
Oh wow, it had Jet. Oh yeah, it had. Oh my god, I did watch this.
Yes.
So Mark or vaguely remembers Journey, but maybe misremembering a more recent movie. It has
You
that feel,
you
right?
might be mistaking Journey to the Center of the Earth with the other one that had the rock instead.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. There was a rock
They're
thing.
similar. They're similar movies. But yeah, Michelle Yeoh plays the woman who tells Jet Li's character the
And this felt like very classic early on, like when you felt Hollywood shifting to like we need to pander to China more, because when you put Asian actors and Chinese characters into movies, it sells more because China. Okay.
Well, this is 2008, which is after Hero and after Crouching Tiger. So it kind of,
I mean, like in the early one, it was like Chinese movies breaking out in
yeah,
international, but then you had the flip side where American movies throwing in Chinese things
to get into the
to get into
market.
the Chinese market.
Yeah.
That's why I felt like it was in that realm.
And then we have Inkheart, 2008. Another movie I really wanted to like.
Oh, I remember this poster. I don't remember watching this.
Yeah, I feel Inkheart would be, if you're watching, grab it, make a Netflix series or something. It's got good material for a TV series. Um,
Oh, Andy Serkis.
yeah. So you have Silver Tongue, who has a special talent to bring characters out of books. One night, he brings out three characters from Inkheart, a story set in the medieval times filled with magical beings. Um, 10
Capricorn.
years later,
Mhm.
character discovers the truth and it's time to help escape from the evil. It's got a good premise. It's got a lot of promise, and I really want it to get a second chance.
And this is already in the full swing of like young adult fantasy movies, and like parang and everything, whether it was a book or whatnot. Yeah. Mark says the book had good reviews. Yeah, it's like it's that time that we had Spiderwick, we had this, we had Bridge to Terabithia. It's like every young adult fantasy series was getting a show. So, all right.
Then comes the odd one, other than Fairly Odd Parents, where he had voice cast as Turbo Thunder, but it's G.I. Joe Rise of the Cobra,
But he's uncredited.
uncredited as Sergeant Stone. I want to find a picture of that. Sergeant Stone, G.I. Joe movie.
Okay.
I just want to see what he looks like there. Yeah,
Oh,
I remember seeing him.
yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I remember seeing him.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Okay.
Extraordinary Measures, John Crowley, 2010.
Title is familiar, but I don't think I watched this.
The
And oh, it's Harrison Ford.
drama centered around the efforts of John and Aileen Crowley to find a researcher who might have a cure for their child's rare genetic disorder.
Carrie Russell. Oh. Okay. It's a movie. All right.
Then we have Furry Vengeance.
That already sounds stupid. Yep.
He's got a bear. In Oregon wilderness, a real estate developer's new housing subdivision faces a unique group of protesters. Uh, yeah,
Local
local
woodland
woodland
creatures who
creatures.
don't want their home disturbed. Okay. Okay. This looked very stupid. Toby's just looking at pictures.
Then we have Standoff,
Oh, Mitch
2011.
Mitch watched Extraordinary Measures and said it was intense. Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
yeah, it's that guy.
Ken Jeong.
Yeah. Brooke Shields? What the hell?
Okay. So, Whole Lot of Soul
SOLE.
or Standoff, which is its later title.
Both titles don't really work.
Both centers on a botched fish market robbery that leads to an involvement of a local police and gangster out for revenge.
Oh wow, it has Cole Meany as a detective. Hey, Miles O'Brien.
Okay, internet's like super slow now. It's the barely opening stuff. Then Escape from Planet Earth. He plays the voice of Scorch Supernova. We have A Case of You in 2013.
Not the lead.
Yeah, because here at this point, Justin Long is now the lead.
Oh, and Justin Long was like making movies.
Yeah,
But it has
and,
Peter Dinklage.
Mhm.
Okay, random. All right, he's a minor character.
and then Hairbrained, 2013. Originally called Hairbrained, one word.
Oh wow, I have never heard of this movie. I'm looking at the poster now. Like, what is
14-year-old genius Eli, rejected from Harvard, ends up in the Ivy League wannabe Whitman U. There, Eli meets 40-year-old Leo, a gambler who's dropped out of life to enroll in college.
That could be Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
Okay, back to playing stupid.
Pawn Shop Chronicles.
My God, he has so many movies.
Anthology of stories involving meth white supremacists
Meth addicted
Yeah.
white supremacists.
looking
What the
for
hell?
his kidnapped wife and an Elvis impersonator.
Paul Walker, Norman Reedus, Elijah Wood. Whoa, Matt Dillon. This feels like we want to win an award for this. It has Chi McBride.
Mhm.
Okay.
Then we have Breakout 2013.
Ooh, he's on the poster. What is this? I don't know this movie. Okay.
A pair of criminals try to track down kids who witnessed them commit a murder in the woods.
Oh, okay. Sounds
So
intense.
they're the kids.
Brendan Fraser still playing a kid, and it's already 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gimme Shelter 2013. Jessica Hudges? Vanessa Hudges.
Vanessa Hudgens, Rosario Dawson, and then Brendan Fraser. James Earl Jones. Oh. Never heard of
This
this
says
movie.
a pregnant teenager flees her abusive mother in search of her father, only to be rejected by her stepmother and forced to survive in the streets until a compassionate stranger offers something. Written and directed by someone. The Nut Job voice acting. Then we have Texas Rising, the miniseries, and we have The Affair TV series.
Okay, yeah, and this is already like we're starting to jump now.
Nightcap TV series, Trust TV series, Condor TV series, Titans TV series. It's
Oh, that
interesting.
Titans kasi is his first was when they had the Doom Patrol
Yeah.
first appear.
And then we have Poison Rose, Line of Descent, Secret of Karma. None of these we know.
Yeah.
Professionals TV series, No Sudden Move 2021. And then we have Doom Patrol. And this is where most of us
Are
reconnected.
experiencing Brendan Fraser now, and I love Doom Patrol. I
Mhm.
love Doom Patrol, and I think he's a great Cliff. I mean,
Mhm.
I know it's mostly it's voice work. It's voice acting, but it super works.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, especially now that I've like at least read the first volume of the Morrison run. Oh my God, Cliff really works.
Mhm.
I mean, Brendan Fraser really works as Cliff. So good job. Oh, and then he has a bunch of upcoming stuff.
So there's Killers of the Flower Moon. That's pre-production. Let's see if we can learn anything about it.
Post production.
The post-production. Members of the Osag tribe in the United States are murdered under mysterious circumstances in the 1920s, sparking an FBI investigation. We have The Whale, where he plays Charlie. We have Behind the Curtain of Night. We have Brothers, and we have Batgirl. The Whale is a reclusive teenager suffering from
Teacher.
teacher suffering from severe obesity. Attempts to reconnect with daughter. Maybe he plays the guy.
Might be the teacher because he's like lead actor.
It's Aronofsky.
Oh, okay.
That should be interesting. Behind the Curtain of Night, after being declared dead for a second time, a man comes back to life with the ability to see his past lives.
But who is lead? It's romantic science. Oh, he's lead. Romantic
He
science
plays
fiction.
the lead.
Ew, who's directing?
Written and directed by.
Uh oh.
It's always interesting when it's written and directed by.
Oh.
We have Brothers, plot kept under wraps.
Max Barbacow as director. Brendan Fraser, Josh Brolin, Peter Dinklage, Glenn Close. Whoa, heavy names.
Mhm.
Interesting. Okay, but no information yet on what this really is.
Mm.
What's The Professionals? I don't think I've encountered this show.
Professionals is 2020 series. After their advanced medical satellite explodes on deployment, billionaire futurist Peter Swan and his fiancée, medical visionary Dr. Grace Davila, turn to a hardened former counterintelligence officer. He doesn't seem to be main, so I guess he's a guest star lang.
No, scroll down.
Oh no, he is
He's Peter Swan.
Okay, I think we should watch this.
Okay.
We should check it out.
Okay.
And then Batgirl. And Batgirl, supposedly he'll be playing Firefly.
Not related to last week. He's one of the few names cited. But like Firefly is that villain who does flamethrowers, right?
Isn't that Firebug?
There are actually a lot of them.
Okay. Firefly I see here is a yellow and black costume.
I think we're both right. He flies and has a flamethrower. Scroll down to powers.
uh, yeah.
They don't list his powers. What is this Wikipedia article? But normally any superhero type thing, they'll list powers and
Yeah.
abilities. Ayun.
Here.
Drastically alter from a mere criminal who utilized colored lights and optical illusions that have violent sociopath with intense
Oh,
pyromania.
see, so
See,
I remember the optical
I
illusions
only
and
know
all.
him as a pyromaniac. We're both right. All right.
We're also very different. different reference points.
Yeah. I think as I've seen him in the cartoons and then the
Yeah.
more recent
That's the one you
Batman
remember.
comics. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, and there's a lot of stories ups and down about Brendan Fraser's career and why he, apparently he's been through a lot
Yeah.
of strenuous physical and mental challenges over the
Yes.
years. So he really, and if you look at the sheer number of movies he released and how quickly they came out, um, he was a very busy actor.
Hmm.
Very busy actor, both for big budget stuff and independent stuff. So he was always working, and that is a lot to demand, especially since he, the space that he occupied would be a lot of things, including physical comedy,
Yeah.
action stunts, and
And he
whatnot.
always wanted to do his own
Always
stunts,
doing his own
which you
stunts.
could just imagine all the injuries that would entail.
Yeah, I mean that's why they're a professional stuntman and all
Mhm.
that. So, what's your favorite Brendan Fraser movie?
I think The Mummy and Gods and Monsters would be both on the first spot
Mm,
for very different reasons. The Mummy because it's just an amazing film overall.
yeah.
Um, Gods and Monsters because it's such a powerful, depressing movie. And I remember when I watched Gods and Monsters, it really affected and moved me in such a way um, that The Mummy did not. But
Mm.
I also remember The Mummy as the movie which I don't mind still seeing it again every now and then. This is just really so fun.
I mean, like, yeah, the Mummy is like an easy pick. Like,
Mhm.
you can't go wrong with the Mummy. So I definitely still like that one. And then I don't know. I mean, like, just to be different, then I guess I maybe go with Crash. But then I didn't feel like it's a quintessential like Brendan
Yeah,
Fraser
I
movie.
felt it was a small role.
So I guess I'm forced to go back to um, Mrs. Winterborn.
I have to
We
watch
have
it.
to watch Mrs. Winterborn. Ah, it's gonna be fun. And then we haven't caught up with the new season of Doom Patrol. I've been intentionally waiting for the season to end before we start watching.
Alma
Um,
has joined us in memory of Karen always catching our show.
yes.
So Alma has joined us. Um,
My gosh, she's so dark.
mhm.
It's like the blackness of her eyes.
The one
Least
we least
like.
like.
Ooh, choices. Dudley
George,
Do Right.
George in the Jungle.
Don't hate on George in the Jungle. These were my early like. Oh, why am I feeling things? I guess I'm not straight.
Well, for me that
It's one
was,
of those
but for me
movies.
that was it. Oh, I'm not feeling things. What's wrong with me? No, you can just imagine how weird that was for someone who was realizing he wasn't straight to see suddenly this movie with this supposedly, well, not supposedly, but with this really hot guy, and it wasn't working for me. So that kind of threw me for a weird bender. I guess it's because he didn't feel authentic, and that's why I didn't like it.
He's because he was being a live action cartoon
Yeah, but I
character.
mean, if you compare it to like Encino Man and the others, where he's still also a caricature of a personality, but it felt a bit more authentic for me. I guess I don't know how to explain it further.
What is he talking about, Alma? No, no. Okay.
And then, um, I would love to see a return to the Mummy franchise.
But
It
what would his
opens
involvement
it
be?
opens with Tom Cruise.
Okay, the new mummy thing.
Then he
Okay.
dies, and Brendan Fraser arrives.
And then
But then, since Brendan Fraser is no longer, um, um, you know,
physically capable of being an
of
action hero.
oh yeah, or at least not fitting the role of what he was before, it could be a send off in the sense of, you know, because in the third movie they did kind of try to introduce a younger version of him. He had a son in the movie
Yes.
who was getting into all this trouble as well. So they could relaunch the series with a new son, and as the two of them, crash through the wall, killing the Tom Cruise character as they drive off, he like tells his son, "I'm too old for this. It's gonna be up to you now." And from that point on, he could be a support character, maybe on the radio or something. But I would love that as a comeback to the Mummy franchise.
Okay. So then, and then in terms of like, so things that we really have to see. So I got to make sure Toby watches Mrs. Winterborn. Um, I also kind of want to watch Encino Man again. What else? What else did we? What else did we highlight here? That movie where he seems to be playing an emotion, or whatever. That sounds interesting. Um, um, what else did we want to see? Oh no, we were already forgetting all the things we kept saying we wanted to see.
Oh,
I want to rewatch The Mummy. Okay,
no, not Trinity, the end of night.
not that also.
This is the one with Vigo Mortensen.
Yeah, but I don't think I want to see it. Vigo doesn't necessarily mean good movie.
Hmm. Well, we were
Sorry.
looking at the professionals.
Yeah. Boop 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 boop. Okay. Oh, now and then sounded like something you wanted to watch, right? Not that. The air I breathe. The air I breathe. That's where his
The Air I
pleasure.
Breathe,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Okay. The air I breathe. That sounds intriguing.
Mhm.
All right. I guess that's our show. Wow, we spent over an hour talking about Brendan Fraser movies.
Mhm. So we'll be sticking to a 2 day a week schedule until we get better traction. But yeah, that's our episode for
Oh,
tonight.
and I think for next week
Oh yeah,
we'll figure out the schedule, but we're probably not going to do Friday. We're
we
probably
might.
going to do Thursday or something, or Wednesday. I don't
Mhm.
know, because we have an event scheduled for the Friday. Oh, Black Swan is like I like Blast from the Past. Yeah, it was fun. It wasn't the best movie,
I
but it
like
was a smart one.
I liked it, but it was bested and defeated by Pleasantville.
I knew you were gonna say Pleasantville because I was thinking Pleasantville.
Because Pleasantville kind of treaded the same feels,
Yes,
but so much better.
the because it's such a visual story and it really had uh Alma. And her eyes really catch the light
It
well, no?
reminds me of Yoshi.
Mm, the shiny eyes. Maybe.
The way
Maybe.
Yoshi would stare.
All right. All right.
But
So,
yeah, but I guess that's our episode for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you'll join us again next time.
oh my god, this whole time I never put the title back. For questions or suggestions for future episodes, fill up the Google form at bit.ly Baduy Pride Ideas. You can where'd it go? You can follow us on Twitter, all Toby No Shade, RG Suniko.
You could also check out our blog, badaypride.com, for all the previous episodes and stuff about us.
So feel free to continue the conversation in the comments below and let us know what's your favorite Brendan Fraser movie and what did you think of George of the Jungle? So,
Mhm.
and be sure to subscribe for notifications, whether on Facebook or YouTube, so you don't miss our next live stream. Once again, I'm Rocky,
And I'm Toby.
and
And
this
this
is
is
Baduy
Baduy
Pride.
Pride.
Good night, everyone.